Hello beautiful people, my name is Jane and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to start by asking a question. Will hurt people hurt people? Will people that have been hurt in the past hurt people in the future? So I came across this post that said hurt people will hurt people. And I was like, I asked myself, how true is that? Will hurt people hurt people? Will people that have gone through some, emotional trauma end up becoming people that would cause emotional trauma to other people? And the answer is yes. But wait up, hold up before you start saying, no, it's not everybody. I know it's not everybody. But the reason why I said yes, hurt people will hurt people, is that when you go through hurt, you don't just come out as the same person you were before you were hurt. There is no way. And let me clarify. It's true that it's not everybody that has been hurt that will end up hurting other people. But what we're talking about in this video are the things that would make somebody that has been hurt other people. That's one. The next thing that we're going to look into is the things that we do subconsciously most times, and it's because of these baggages that we carry from past experiences that weren't pleasant, that were not all that pleasant. We carry all these baggages and it makes us a certain way, and then we end up being in a way that we're not normally. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. This is your first time here, welcome to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the red subscribe button, turn on notifications so you know when I drop new videos, which are always on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And give this video a like because you're gonna like. Now let's get into this one. So the reason why hurt people will hurt people, or even if they don't intend it, most times they don't intend it, but you go through emotional traumas, you go through betrayals, you go through heartbreaks, you go through loss, and you don't come out as the same person you were before that happened. No, it doesn't happen that way. We come out with baggages, emotional baggages. We come out with survival instincts. I'll call it survival instincts. We come out with I have to get there before you instincts. We come out with, there's so many of them, but let's start with survival instincts. Now, because this has happened in the past, a part of you feels like that happened because of you, that happened because of me, that happened because I wasn't this, because I didn't do this, because I wasn't careful enough, because I wasn't, attentive enough, because I didn't look into this, or because I didn't react to this, or because and all these things, sum up into what I call survival instinct. The next time that you're with somebody and you see something similar, you don't even have to see something similar most times. You're just on the lookout for the signs. You're on the lookout for the what will I call it? You're on the lookout for the signs. You're on the lookout for for the intent even before the person does it. Okay, let's say for instance you were cheated on before, and then now you're with somebody. When he stays out late, you have all these thoughts in your head. This is how it usually starts. When he's being nice to women when you go out, in your head you're thinking this is how it usually starts. So even before he does it, your survival instinct kicks in, and then you feel the need to protect yourself. And most times when you do these things, you're thinking about yourself, you're trying to protect yourself, but then you might sometimes end up isolating yourself from somebody that cares about you, in the process causing them pain, in the process hurting them without even intending it. But all this while, all you were trying to do is protect yourself so that you don't experience the emotional trauma that you experienced before, right? So most times when hurt people, it's not because they intend it. Most times it's just them trying to protect themselves, them trying to do it to you before you do it to them. Which brings me to the second one, I have to get there before you. If somebody that has been betrayed before would find it very difficult to trust, that one everybody knows. But there are some people that when they've experienced a certain level of betrayal, if she feels like you're stepping out or you're being too nice to girls or you're being too nice to guys, they tend to start doing the same thing. They tend to, even though they are with somebody, they feel the need to also put themselves out there, or kind of like line people up. Some people actually do this. Even when they're in the relationship, they're kind of like prepping their next relationship. They're prepping their next partner to get ready so that when this works or when this doesn't work out, they can easily, move this aside and bring this to the front. I've seen people do it. So most times it's not, they just feel the need to prepare. They just feel the need to get there before you. They feel the need to, win because they have experienced loss, because they have experienced pain. The kind of, people always underestimate or underrate emotional pain. You see guys, they go through relationships that didn't end well, they come out, and the next day they are jumping into something else. Girls too, everybody do this. Not everybody, but most people do it. You don't give yourself that time, that period of healing, that period of clarity. I'm still going to come to that later. But you see, when you jump from one to the next, or try to underrate or try to downplay what happened, try to downplay the emotional trauma, the emotional stress, the emotional pain, because it's not something physical, it's not something you can see. So if people don't see you bleeding, they don't know that you're hurt, right? So it's very easy for you to wear your clothes, dress up and pretend nothing ever happened, nothing happened. But the problem is that it doesn't just go away like that. Like, you can pretend, you can cover it up. People don't necessarily have to know, but you will know. And the thing with trying to cover these things up is that if you're carrying that emotional baggage, you will not know when to put it down if you don't acknowledge that you're carrying it. If you don't acknowledge that I was hurt, I am still hurt, and it's going to take a process, it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take clarity, it's going to take growth for me to be able to get out from this place that I am right now and get to a place where I'm better. But the worst thing that you can do for yourself when you're going through this thing is to hide it, or try to downplay it, or try to wish it away, or try to hide it and hope nobody else knows, because you will know, right? So now let's go back to prep and relationships. This doesn't work out. Instead of giving yourself that time. See, that time is a very painful time. That time of clarity. That time where you're coming out, when you're kind of realizing, when it's dawning on you what actually happened. It's a very difficult time, and that is why most people run away from that time. That's why most people don't want to go through that. Most people don't. They want to, drown and, can't escape. Most people just want to escape. They want to drown themselves in alcohol. They want to drown themselves in drugs, and whatever makes them feel good, even if it's temporarily. I understand, because that is a very difficult thing to go through. That's a very difficult thing to test, or a very difficult thing to come to terms with. So most people would rather run away from it. They would rather avoid it. But the problem with avoiding growth or avoiding that difficult time is that it doesn't go away. You can jump from one relationship to another, carry your emotional baggage on your back and move to the next one. The emotional baggage doesn't go away. It's going to be too much pressure, too much weight on the new relationship, because you're still coming from that place where you're still in that mindset of what happened before. You have your survival instincts, you have to get there before your instincts, you have your emotional baggage, you have your everything. You're just carrying all that and bringing it to another person. So that person will end up paying for what the other person did that has nothing to do with them, which is not fair. So the whole point of this video is for hurt people not to hurt people, for hurt people not to turn into the people that hurt them. They need to have that time, that difficult time of clarity, that difficult time of coming to terms with what happened, that difficult time of, healing. It starts as a difficult time, but the more you get into it, the more you realize that this is what you needed all along. That time for you to be able to think of everything that happened in your relationship, think of the good, think of the bad, think of it in a way, heal from it. Give yourself that time to heal from it, not chasing rebounds or chasing temporal highs or whatever, but take that time to do the difficult work, to actually get yourself to a place where you're comfortable, to a place where you're better. That is the only way that you end up not hurting somebody else or carrying or making another person pay for what somebody else did to you. That's the only way that this is going to be possible. You need to have that time for yourself to think and grow and heal. And in this time, you now think of what are the things that you need to do to be able to heal, to be able to get better, to be able to do better the next time that you fall in love with somebody else, to actually find out what the real problem was in the place that you're coming from, to actually tell yourself the truth, to actually do the work that is going to take to grow, to be better. If it's you, if it's your mindset that has been, putting you in that situation where you're always, falling for the wrong people or whatever it is. Take that time to actually cleanse yourself, heal yourself. And when you do that, take time to get to get back to you. You might not be able to get back to exactly the person you were before you got messed up, before you got fucked up, but you'll be able to get yourself at least to a place of growth. I might not be the person I was when I went into that relationship that messed me up, but at least I am better than that person because now I know that this is possible. Now I know what to do and what not to do. And how do I know that? Because I actually took the time to find out what was it that happened. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to, even though you've been hurt, even though you might have issues, even though you might have trust issues, even though you might, but you have clarity. You're not being so, you can't just jump from one to the next one and expect there to be much difference. I don't personally, I don't think it's possible. So that's the whole point of this video. For hurt people not to hurt people. We'll hurt people, yes, but for that not to happen, you need to take time after you've gone through emotional pain, emotional trauma, anything emotional. You need to take the time that you need to put things in perspective. Take the time to breathe. Take the time to get to know yourself again. Take the time to, assess the things that you've learned, the ones that you're going to take on with you and the ones that you're going to drop. Because there's nothing worse than, because somebody hurt you and then you ended up becoming exactly the person that person wanted you to be. Or you end up becoming exactly the person that person was. Or you end up not living your life anymore, but living the life of the person that hurt you. Becoming his creature, becoming what he created, because now it's no longer you, it's no longer the life that you would have had. Everything that you do is because of him, because of her, because of what she did or because of what he did. That's not cool. That's not going to give you, at the end of the day, that's not going to give you fulfillment, and that's not going to give you healing. You're not going to be able to heal if you're stuck in what he did, what she did, what he didn't do, what she didn't do, or all those. And most times you don't know when these things happen. It's subconscious. You don't know. Most times when you go crazy with your new partner for something that is coming from the past, you don't know. Most times you don't know. That's why if you do not heal, these things will always be there and they will just keep coming, going around, and just keep coming. Most times things happen even when you react a certain way. When if you sit down and think about it, you just can't figure out why you reacted that way. It's because that emotion is coming from somewhere. It's coming from a place of pain, a place of doubt, it's coming from the past. So how would somebody hurt you, mess up your life, do everything you didn't want them to do, and still control your life and still be in control of the choices you make, even though you've left them or even though they've left you and you've moved on? They're still there. They are still this very big monument in your life that dictates what goes and what doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Which is why it's very important to take that time to do the work that is going to take for you to heal, and do better the next time that you end up with somebody or next time that you fall in love. Get your needs in perspective. What is it that you're after? So first is make sure you don't end up becoming the person that hurt you. Make sure you don't end up becoming what they created, what they want you to be. Make sure that doesn't happen. And for that not to happen, take the time to heal. So that's the whole point of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit the red subscribe button, turn on notifications so you know when I drop a new video, which are always on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And please give this video a like, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.